Welcome to the Mesquite Garden podcast, where wellness blossoms and we sow the seeds of holistic health, one conversation at a time.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Porsha, and I am your founder of Mesquite Garden, and this
Maricea like Teresa.
So today we are discussing what holistic health even is. We're going to be going in on the principles, the history, and the practices of holistic health, just to make sure you guys are all up to date on what this podcast is about. As far as holistic health goes, if you heard our introduction, you know that I got my board certified credential in holistic health and nursing, and I dove into herbalism and really just learning how to treat my mind, body, and soul. And that was truly when I feel like life actually started happening for me, not to me. I was just sharing with Maricea that migraines. I've suffered from migraines since I was 14 years old, and I had tried every single pharmaceutical that Western medicine could offer me up until 2021. And I've had MRIs and I've had CT scans and I've had all sorts of things, even. My neurologist was like, change your diet. So I went vegan. My neurologist was like, change your job. So I started Mesquite Garden. So I have been a good compliant patient, but Western healthcare just didn't have the answers for me, and honestly for most of you guys out there who have migraines. So not until I truly started to dive into holistic health and treat myself as a whole did I actually get to the point where I am so happy to report that as of July 2024, I have been migraine free.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean,
That's awesome.
it's huge. It's huge. It literally debilitated my life. I had to leave my career in acute care, which again, it's aligning and more of alignment purposes. But that migraine factor was a huge part of it. And not until I started with holistic remedies, diet change, just in case you guys didn't hear that part.
That's the hardest part.
Yes.
Giving up what you love.
Yes, but I do want you guys to know, like, there is cures. You do not have to suffer with this just because Western medicine isn't able to help you. My neurologist has been trying to, honestly, almost force me to get Botox, and I refuse. I refuse to get Botox. It's poison, as far as I believe. And he also was like, well, we have 3 brand new medications that you can try. And I was like, not trying to be one of your test dummies. So here I am. And so as far as holistic health goes, I didn't really know about it until about 2021. And that's when my entire life changed for the better.
Okay.
What about you?
Holistic health has been a part of my life since I was a child. We were raised to meditate. We were raised to do yoga. My mother taught us a lot of it. I have aunts and uncles that were with Unity, and that's a whole part of the religious experience. I come from a long line of religious leaders, pastors, ministers that all passed on that information. And it's rooted in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So prayer, fasting, meditation have been a part of my life since I was a child. And I think that it's really helped me. Now they call it mindfulness, to be present in the moment, to tune in, realize where you are, and know that you're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, focusing on the breath instead of focusing on the chaos all around you. Because in nursing, it can get pretty crazy and hectic. And if you don't have a center, something that you can focus on, then you'll get caught up in the chaos around you. And then you really can't effectively help your clients. That's my personal belief. And so I practice mindfulness on a daily basis. Because the diet part, I'm working on that. I kind of got away from eating all the right things. I'm a vegetarian, but for a while I was married to someone who ate meat, so I started eating meat again. And, my body showed that I did that. And just like anything, it doesn't switch off just because I became a vegetarian. It takes time to undo all the years of abuse that I've done to myself.
Okay, so speaking in and about holistic health, by definition, this is an approach to wellness that considers your whole person, like we said, your mind, body, and your spirit. So instead of just treating symptoms or the disease itself, like is often done in Western healthcare, we emphasize the interconnectedness of your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and your social health. We're going to talk about the history, and it goes back, you guys. Holistic health is the main health. There was no pharmaceuticals before this. There was no Western
What?
healthcare before this.
What?
There was no surgery before this. Dating
Mm,
back to more than 5,000 years, Ayurvedic medicine started off the science of really being focusing on the balancing of the three energies, the Vata, the Pitta, the Kapha. And practices include herbal remedies, yoga, meditation, and seasonal nutrition. So, seasonal nutrition, as in you eat with the seasons. So, for example, around December, January, we're looking at things like squashes and oranges and lettuces and greens, the things that are grown right now in this climate. And everybody's climate is different, so you need to know where you're at and what's growing based on your season.
right.
Um,
We're so blessed here in California. We have an abundance all year round of all of the fruits and vegetables that aren't available to someone that's in the snowy climates. I think up here in the high desert, it affects us a little bit more because it gets so cold. Good to know.
Yeah, so traditional Chinese medicine originated over 2,500 years ago. And again, centers around balancing your energies, the yin and yang forces. Also included practices like acupuncture, again with herbal medicine, Tai Chi, and dietary therapy. And the illness is caused by energy blockages or imbalances, is what they believe. I personally believe a lot of what the Chinese medicine's belief systems are too. I think that for me personally as a practitioner in holistic health, I think I tie all of these in.
I think some people are a little nervous about it, someone coming at them with a needle,
Yeah.
right? I was initially a little squeamish, but it doesn't hurt. I did the acupuncture. I was having some balance issues in my body, and they did the acupuncture, and they actually hooked it up to some kind of electronic system, and it got those electronic energy shocks
Yeah.
that went through my body, and everything kind of regulated itself. It was really awesome.
So did you just go in for a like overall balance? You weren't
Yes.
targeting anything?
Yes. I know, like with my dad, he goes when he has pain. He has neuropathy.
Mm.
And so when he's having too much pain, he goes and they just balance him out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think acupuncture is beautiful. Okay. Indigenous healing practices, which dates back thousands of years ago globally, that's all over. Again, rooted in harmony with nature, ancestors, and community coming together. Music is huge, using medicinal plants and energy cleanse, rituals, and collective healing. And they have that belief that illnesses is often a spiritual or emotional originator. So I, again, practice a lot of the indigenous healing modalities. I tend to actually practice those more than others. And then ancient Egyptian medicine, dating back to 3000 BCE, combined physical treatments of herbal remedies, again, spiritual rituals. They believe in balancing bodily fluids and spiritual forces. And then the Greco-Roman medicine from 460 to 370 BCE. And this is the
Hippocrates. Hippocrates.
Can't say that. He's a father of medicine. So he advocated that diet, lifestyle, and natural remedies for prevention and healing is the way to go. And his quote is, "Let food be thy medicine and
Mm.
medicine be thy food." And I obviously wholeheartedly believe in that. And
Yes.
we really, I mean, it's in our mission. It's really the change that we're trying to instill here. Holistic health is the way it's always been. And we're going to go into how things started to change and why things got away from holistic remedies in the way that they did.
I think you covered it all. I noticed that there's a lot of common threads across those different cultures.
Yeah, there is, right? Like the health, the balance of the energies, spirituality. Again, herbal remedies was in all of them. Food and diet is in all of them.
Yes.
With the spiritual and the energetic connection, I think that's a big component that us in the United States don't incorporate.
Right. I think because we think spirituality, a lot of times people want to connect that with a particular religion,
Mhm.
and we don't have that own personal relationship with the universe, with spirit, with God,
Right.
whatever you want to call that connectedness, right?
Right.
So when you do that, then you're just out here kind of going through the motions and going through life without having that support system. But when you're in alignment, it helps to balance and regulate your systems.
How did we get to where we're at now?
Industrial revolution. That happened between the 18th and the 19th century. And it was urbanization and public health crisis. They emphasized treating infectious diseases quickly. Germ therapies came about in the 19th century, which was discoveries by Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch, which shifted the focus to pathogens at the root of illness. So they were no longer looking at what caused it, they were looking at the pathogen, what caused it.
Mm-hmm.
Rise of pharmaceuticals, that happened in the 20th century. Antibiotics like penicillin. When I start thinking about antibiotics, there's so many complications with them. They have a good benefit, but then your body starts building up resistance to it. Yeah. They prioritize quick symptom relief over root cause treatments. And then the standardization of medicine that happened about 1910, according to the Flexner Report, marginalized holistic practices in favor of evidence-based and hospital-focused care. So basically, healthcare moved from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Then we went into the economic and industrial influences, right? Which was profit-driven, the healthcare systems, the pharmaceutical industries, which promoted and targeted treatments. That's pretty much like where we are now, right?
Yeah. Now, again, you guys, these are our views, these are our opinions.
Exactly.
Our personal experiences have shown to become the better option for healing, actually treating the root cause. So just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there.
Lifestyle changes, industrialized diets, sedentary lifestyles increased the chronic illnesses and often treated symptomatically. That's a big one because even in my family, so many people, it's easier just to go and get a burger, get something fast, drive through, and they don't think how processed it is, what it's actually doing to them internally until it's too late.
So I do think that, like you said, the fast food really blew up. And then on top of that, processed and preserved food, boxed foods, pre-made foods,
Yes.
the sugars, the candies,
The
food
chips.
dyes, the chips. And you guys, there's a whole nother episode for this, but just to touch on it, the fact that the number one consumers of all of this are children whose organs are not even fully developed. So let that sink in. We are giving this to their children.
Yes.
They're growing, precious, beautiful children whose organs are not fully developed. And we are giving them this stuff with food dyes and processed ingredients and ultimately poison. And we're wondering why they have attention deficit disorders. And we're wondering why they're angry. And we're wondering why they don't sleep at night. Or why they're not growing as well as they should. Or behavior issue here. Actual physical and medical symptom there. So again, you guys, just remember,
we're a little passionate.
Yeah, that's true. Rant.
Just a little passionate about it because we love so deeply and we want our children, our family members, and our community members to be healthier.
And one of the big reasons that I think I get as passionate about it is because people have been conditioned so well to the point where they are looking at me like I'm the wild one for not wanting my 6-year-old to eat poison, for not being like, yay, it's Christmas. Here's all the red food dye and all the green food dye, and here's all the toys, and here's all this overstimulation. And it's like, oh my gosh, Porsha, just relax a little bit. And I'm like, what?
They don't want to think about it.
No.
You're bringing them down.
I know, Debbie Downer over here.
Oh. So we kind of talked about the cons, right? What are some of the pros?
Yeah, so obviously pros with Western healthcare, moving on and all of the advances that we've made. We do have advanced diagnostics now. We have MRIs, we have x-rays, we have CAT scans. Now, I mean, the surgery, I mean, we have anesthesia. Like, there are things that make our life expectancy greater, better for traumatic things, right? Trauma-based things, car accidents, broken bones, those types of things as well. So, of course, it increased life expectancy.
What are some of the core principles and practices?
So we are going to, of course, talk about physical wellness, our emotional wellness, mental, spiritual, and environmental. So environmental, I think, is one that is often left out and put to the back burner, even on our talking points. It's the last one mentioned, but it is truly just as important as your physical, emotional, mental. They are all on the same level of importance. When it comes to environmental wellness, you guys, mold, black mold right now is all over. I mean, it's all over social media, it's all over the news, like everywhere I'm seeing all these incidences of people finally realizing that so much of their health conditions that they have been suffering with for years and years, and even like mental health issues,
Right.
have been triggered because of them having black mold within their environment, within the walls of their home. Their pillowcases, you guys, did you know that not swapping out your pillowcases can develop, if you sleep with your hair wet on your pillow can develop mold.
What?
And now you are inhaling that at night, sleeping within that. And that could be the cause of a lot of your symptoms. So change your pillows out.
Change your filters. Those filters in the ceiling. My mother reminds me of that because she's like, I'm sneezing. You need to change the filter.
Yeah, definitely dust. So talking about those types of environmental factors that are actually exterior of your body, but you're living within those spaces is important.
Because we live in a box. How about ventilation? We need to open our windows.
Right. Light, we need vitamin D. We need to bring all of that in to air out the energy within the room.
It's important to go outside every day.
Of course.
Absolutely.
At least 20 minutes to get that vitamin D going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And while you're out there, do some stretches.
Right.
Move your body.
Yeah, listen, be mindful. So yeah, tying in your environmental factors. I also want to include your family, the people that you put around you, your friends, your coworkers, environmental, like where are you working? Go figure, when I was working in a hospital was when my symptoms were absolutely at their worst. So environmentally, I needed to get out of that hospital. And here I am doing great out of the hospital. So just saying.
Oh boy.
But like you said, spiritual practices, you guys, if that's prayer for you, if it's meditating, if it is, going to your temples, going to your churches, going outside and sitting within mountains, hiking, your spirituality can be accessed throughout so many different ways. And
Yes.
as long as you feel that, because that's the important factor, is the feeling. When you go to church and you just sit there and you zone out, you're not connecting
No.
with that spirituality. You want to feel those feelings. That energy buildup is when you know that you are connecting with your spirituality.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what form you're connecting with. Mental wellness, you guys, it ties into everything. Gosh, I can go on and on and on and on about mental wellness, and I will. But
Please do.
yeah, environmental affects it, spirituality affects it, your emotional wellness and your mental wellness, for me personally, I feel like are basically one and the same thing.
Yes.
Everything is energy. And once you learn to convert your energy, once you learn how to say, hey, I'm not going to let this energy continue to affect me in this manner, then your life starts to change. And your physical wellness, gosh, I almost feel like that, other than diet, I feel like your mental, environmental, your spiritual, those things, well, I know I said earlier they were like all pretty much the same, but really, if you have those others in balance, right, the physical stuff falls into play, because this is really just our player profile,
Yes.
our avatar, everything on the inside,
Right.
all the energy that makes up everything that's working for us comes out into your physical wellness. So how all of these, when they're out of balance, manifest is different for everybody. Me, I get migraines. I'll get some skin issues, some level of eczema. Depression will then start to kick in. But typically, physical symptoms do start to show and manifest first, or at least if you're not paying attention and in tune with your emotional and mental wellness.
Which is why you should have some type of daily practice, right? If you're out there and you work in the healthcare field and you happen to still be in a hospital like me, it's so important for you to get outside, get some fresh air, do some mindfulness practice, do some spiritual practice, move your body, get some physical activity going. And that's going to be the only way we can make it, because that's what we decided to do as our career, is to help others and to serve in that capacity. So if that's where you're working and you can't shift their environment because you don't have that control, you can shift the other aspects of your life so that you do have wellness and holistic health in your life.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, that's definitely one avenue. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to do what I want to do and not work in this environment anymore.
Right.
And I'm going to create the life I
That's
want.
another option.
So there's all sorts of different options. Like she said, meditation is so important, and various forms of meditation. You can use binaural beats, you can use guided meditation. Breath work is also a form of meditation. You can garden while you're meditating. Anything that you are
You
completely
can
in the
walk.
present moment, which is basically
Yes.
controlling your thoughts to be concentrating on what it is while you're washing dishes. If you are washing dishes while you're washing that cup, you think about the cup that you're washing, the way the water is hitting it, the way the soap's setting. Though that's when you're in that meditative state, and it's based on the waves in your brain and how it's
Yes.
responding to your thoughts. So there's the meditation. Yoga is also a form of meditation. Of course, there's natural medicine, so your herbalism and aromatherapy. And
Yes.
I'm so excited to teach you guys here.
Hmm?
Of course, nutrition. So again, food is medicine. That is huge. That should probably be the first one.
Yes. It starts in the kitchen
Yeah, it does. Or in the garden,
or in the
whatever.
garden. You're bringing it into the house and
Right.
into the kitchen,
Right.
into your pantry, so you have it all year round. Yeah.
Nutrition, that was there. Now, energy healing, like we said, Reiki, acupuncture, we talked briefly about those. Sound therapy, you guys, the frequencies of sound.
I think that there's something about the sound, especially the ringing of a bell, because
Oh,
we
yeah.
used to have the church bells, and that sound was resounding throughout the community to get people in one accord and to balance their systems.
Yeah.
Right.
So spiritually, like we said, prayer, meditation. I also feel like astrology, palmistry, anytime I can use a tool to connect me to myself, to my higher self, to allow me to understand things, being in nursing and or in the science world of things, I'm all about rationales. If I understand it, if it makes sense to me, I'm gonna believe it.
You know what I found? The more that I study, when you're going through the various stances and the various positions of prayer, they're actually forms of yoga.
Really?
A lot of the positions are very similar. Like when you bow down and your forehead touches the ground,
Right.
that's sort of like when you're at that resting state, that fetal state of yoga, the
Mhm.
child pose for yoga.
If you relate to it, great, take it. If you don't, leave it. It's not all everything here is for you. Or, something in astrology or something on your palms, the map of your life. You might be like, no, this isn't right. No, that's not right. That's okay. It doesn't have to be. But if any of these things help you move you along to understanding more about yourself, to be able to go inward, you're going to progress. You are going to become more healthy naturally. You can't even
Exactly.
help it. It's just the way it goes. And that comes down to even aligning with nature,
Yes.
grounding, going outside barefoot, stepping on the dirt, on the rocks
Yes.
and the grass.
Feeling the water on your toes from the ocean.
Yes. And if you're not near the ocean, any body of water, your showers, your
Yes.
baths, anytime that you're able to connect and immerse yourself with water, that is a healing practice.
Yes.
The wind is so transformational.
Yes.
There's obviously fire, being on a bonfire, all of these things
Yes.
have been proven to increase your mood, your spirituality, your overall health.
Being full of gratitude.
Yes, gratitude is huge.
Gratitude practices, my gosh, I've been doing that for the last 30 days. Every day I try to write down something that I'm grateful for, what made me smile, what was the thing that impacted me the most that day, where was my mind, And I find myself more joyful, more present, more in the moment because I'm looking for those things. I'm looking for that thing that made me smile. I'm looking for something that made me say, God, I'm so thankful.
Yes, yes. So that, and again, that goes hand in hand, you guys, with journaling.
Yes.
Journaling is huge because you're allowed to get those voices that are in your head down on paper.
Yes.
Gratitude practices are huge. Journaling to foster not only that deep spiritual connection, your connection with yourself. And I keep all of them. I have journals and journals that I go back and I'll read through, and it is also its own form of gratitude because I get to look back and see how much I've actually
You can see your journey.
Yes, your journey.
Yes.
I'm like, let me turn these into books.
Yes, because it shows your growth, your progress, your expansion,
Yeah.
and where you are today,
Yeah.
right? Because you can say, man, 10 years ago, I was just thinking this, and today I own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think about things we've manifested, right?
Mhm.
This podcast. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It went from a thought to an action.
Yep.
To something we're actually experiencing, living in the moment, and being joyful about that.
Reality. Here we are.
Reality, here we
Yes.
are.
Well, you guys, I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. I am so happy that you are here with us, enjoying this moment with us, living in our reality with us and with you guys as we are unpacking our rich history and science of holistic health. Again, you guys, please follow. You guys can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook using @Mesquite Garden.
Yes.
The website is www.mesquitegarden.com. That's also where you guys can donate to our nonprofit so we can continue to offer all of these awesome things to you guys as listeners, as well as here at the garden. And you guys subscribe, like, comment, let us know if you guys want to know more about anything. And again, thank you guys so much.
Share your thoughts. We want to hear from you. If there's a topic that you want us to talk about, put it in the link below. If there's something more you need information on, if we weren't clear on something, you want us to expound on it, click on the link below. We need to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys. Have a great day and stay healthy.